Welcome to the recording of the launch of the books Dormiveglia and Lights Stuck on Red by me, Emma Major. We're going to share the introduction by April Beckerleg and my brief talk and sharing some poems, and then I will add in some videos of the art exhibition itself. So a huge thank you to everyone who came along, and those of you who didn't, I hope you enjoy this.
My name is April, and it's my delight and privilege to be vicar here, and we are thrilled to have Emma's second exhibition in this space, just in case there was anything before I came. Yeah, second exhibition in our space. So some of you may remember the COP26 exhibition, which Emma did here, and this is a very different, I feel, for me, having a look at this and reading some of Emma's poems that go alongside this exhibition. It's much more of a journey, both an emotional and practical journey through the pandemic. And although it's very much from Emma's personal point of view, there is so much for me that I was really gained from. And I think we get a real sense of her experience, her frustrations, her delights, her struggles, and her ever-present persistent in hope. For me, Emma's clear use of colour and very clear, clean lines are echoed in her very clear, clean poetry. I think the two of those. But that doesn't hide the rawness of Emma's writing, kind of vivid. That was the word I was just struggling for. Vivid in pictures as well as words. And if I may just quote a little bit from Lights Stuck on Red. This sense of her personal experience, which then just speaks to us all. We ran towards solitude, impassioned to protect. Since release valve opened, we're still here. Don't forget. Don't forget. You forget. You forgot us lot. Can you hear us? We're unmasked, but invisible, forgettable, within a vortex of safety. We may be losing our minds, which just gives a tiny extract of how visceral and deeply personal and emotional Emma's journey has been. And it really has such a huge amount to say to us, because poetry as well as visual art is a route, as Emma says in her own introduction, a route to express feelings beyond words. And poetry has the power to take us beyond the narrative into a space that we can, if we allow it, feel the truth. And Emma has something to say about our relationship to the experience that she describes. Experiences change our view of situations, obscuring the truth. My truth, held too firm, blinds my ability to see your inner truth, which for me says so much about this journey of pandemic. We may all have a different experience, but actually it is each person's truth shared, which brings us all closer. And I feel that in Emma's work, we are being invited to reflect on our own attitude, our own sense of what is being demanded of us, that we might be asked to be rather wary of rushing back, of longing for things to be as they were. That perhaps this experience, which Emma describes so powerfully, might give a perspective to us all on finding peace, hope, a depth of a fullness of life, which Emma describes so beautifully. A perspective that I know she would not have chosen, but like many of us, we have experiences thrust upon us which ask something of us. And it is a great privilege for me to have been able to share that experience that Emma has shared with us so powerfully. And I'm going to end my very brief and cannot possibly do justice to, you'll have to buy the books and read them yourselves. No, this is in Dormiveglia.
Dormiveglia. You have to find it in Italian.
Yes. So this is a very personal prayer and just gives you a flavour of the journey that Emma takes us on. And gives us some really good advice. Losing myself amidst webs of my mind, webs dancing with light, brightening horizons, expanding across the universe, imaginative expansion. If you aren't in love with your body, mind, and soul, this summer, take a step back. Self-love should be your goal. Imagine you're your friend. See the good they see in you. Let confidence take flight. You're a delightful view. Emma, you are our delightful view. Thank you, and I commend this exhibition to you all.
Amazing. Thank you, April. Now I'm wondering why I did the audiobook yesterday. I should ask you to do that. It would have been much more fabulously dramatic. Rachel, can I check the press report?
Yeah.
Amazing. Rachel's on the case. So, hi everybody. I did not expect so many people to be here. I thought there might be 10 if we were lucky. So it's amazing. And I on Zoom. There's friends from America and Australia and Singapore on Zoom, as well as people local who couldn't make it. So it's wonderful to be here. I don't intend to speak very long because partly my energy won't allow it, and partly because then you can just wander and have a look at paintings and read poems, and we can have a chat. And hopefully I won't fall asleep in the middle of any of that. So you just heard poems from 2 books from April. So the first one is this one, Dormiveglia. Okay, does anyone know what it means?
If you've read the book,
I was going to say, if you read the book, right, nobody knows what that means. It means semi-conscious, half asleep in Italian, and that's very much how long COVID feels. And this is a book of poetry and art about what it's like to live with long COVID. It's about the ups and downs, what it feels like physically and emotionally and spiritually. And I really want to thank 2 important people, quite apart from my own family, are now looking at me going, don't embarrass, who really supported me in writing this book. So 64 Million Artists is the most amazing group, a collective that encourages people to find their creativity. And a woman called Monique, who has, you have to look her up, Still Ill Corona Diary. She got COVID right at the beginning, and she's been making the most stunning cartoons and animation. And both those, Monique and 64 Million Artists, saw what I was writing, saw what I was painting, and said, this has got to be a book. And then I showed it to my long COVID consultant, who said, this has got to be a book. And he pushed and pushed and pushed. And it is wonderful to know that this can now be gifted to people who've got long COVID, so they know they're not alone. They know that there are lots of us who get it. It can be given to family and friends who perhaps find it really hard to understand why somebody who was running marathons, that wasn't me, suddenly can't get out of bed. And given to also doctors, GPs, who've got people coming and saying, I'm sick and I don't know why, and perhaps it gives them an insight into how it feels personally. So I'm so not reading my notes, which means I'm lost. But that's the first book. The second one, oh, let me say, the paintings from the book around the corner here. So you'll have to come round here to come see them. And then I thought, where I've picked 12, which really spoke to me of the journey of non-COVID. The second book, which is these 18 abstract paintings on the wall to my left, is this one, Light Stuck on Red. There we go, Zoo, Light Stuck on Red. Inner Travels in Lockdown. So I've been writing poetry since I was a child, and I've been writing poetry for 80 years. And when we first heard about COVID, I wrote a silly little jokey poem about we didn't need to stress, let's not get all worried, it's only in China. And wrote all the way through until this morning, where now actually I was talking about COVID in Ukraine. And I've written poetry every single day in that process. And painting every day with it. So each one of these paintings is a prayer. Every morning I sit down at my iPad and I throw down colour and I pray. And I just play with the colours until they speak to me and a poem emerges. And somehow, thank you to my amazing editor, Rena, over 1,000 poems and almost 1,000 paintings have become a small enough collection to be a book. I still keep going, oh, I should put that on in. But they're here, taking us from the green of February 2020 to August 2021, when I said, okay, I could write this forever, but let's get it finished. I can't believe it, but we chose different poems. That's some sort of miracle. That's lovely. I asked Mike and Rach to choose a poem from each book, and then I've chosen one as well. So from Dormiveglia, this is called Rest. Do you have the time to rest? The time to just be you? Perhaps the better question is, when's your time to not do? So busy with the endless lists, demands upon your days. But if you stop and reassess, could there be other ways? Ways to carve out time to sit, to remember who you are. Remember what matters most in life, or just gaze upon the stars. All the endless busyness, a grindstone for the soul. Let's start today by stopping. Let stillness be the goal. Rachel chose that one, so I won't ask her on camera, but you could always ask her afterwards why she chose that. No, apparently you can't. The second poem I've chosen is called Hope. Opening myself to possibilities, facing all life's challenges, knowing I could be on my knees by lunchtime. Yet without hope, what's the point? I might as well shut up shop, admit defeat and hibernate. It's tempting, but only in my mind. I'd be bored by breakfast time, wondering, what's the point? To me, I need to be fully me, creatively, through the agony I live, hopefully. And that's what creativity does to me. It gives me hope, it gives me focus. It takes me into a flow state. So, should I just explain what that means? When I start painting or writing, everything else vanishes. All the stress, all the strain, even the fatigue, it can just go into the background and I just feel peaceful. It's amazing. I really recommend all of you find something you do which makes you feel peaceful, because it's amazing. Just 2 more points. From Light Stuck on Red. This is from the chapter Green for Sun, which was July 2020. So that's when everybody went, yay, go out and go to the pub. And I went, you've got to be kidding. It's way too scary. What happens to the brain when anxiety is high? Adrenaline starts flowing. Will you fight or fly? Your brain sends messages right around your body. Get the heart pumping, ensure muscles are all ready. Every little movement, sound, taste or touch needs evaluating. It might be a massive risk. Your life is in danger. A lion's on the prowl. This is survival instinct. Don't want to fall foul. The trouble in pandemic is the risk. is less intense. It's not behind the door or just over the fence. We are feeling anxious for weeks and months on end. Our poor brains are exhausted, new signals we must send. Find time for relaxation, meditate or pray. Mindfulness works wonders. Try it once or twice a day. Let your brain know that the risks are now reduced. Your heart rate can lower, less adrenaline be produced. Be kind to yourself. Find activities diverting. Your brain will soon adjust to new ways of working. And I want to end tonight by a poem which I recorded. So I recorded Light Stuck on Red, the audio yesterday. And I found myself in tears quite a lot because a lot of it resonated with what's going on in Ukraine. And so I just want to read this series of haiku which really spoke to me about Ukraine. So I don't think we can beat in these times without mentioning it. Rubbing away fear, setting my own boundaries, exploring safely. Life is a journey. When we raise each other up, we all live better. Love connects us all, sustaining, energizing, lighting up the world. Love conquers hatred and division. Love inspires care and compassion. Love requires action and determination. Love builds bridges and brings down walls. Love is a living out of hope and light in the world. Amen. So that's enough from me. Have a look around, please eat snacks, have a drink, have a chat, buy a book, buy a painting, or don't, there's no point. Thank you for coming, everybody.
So, hi, might as well speak to camera, it feels very weird. But this is me in the art gallery with my artwork. Behind me you can see the landscape paintings. To my right here, these are architectural views of Reading. We've got a painting of St Nicholas over there. Then on my left, we have the Light Stuck on Red paintings from my book. And round the corner, but I can't get there with holding my camera, speaking and driving my wheelchair, we have the paintings of Dormiveglia. It would be wonderful if you could come join me on Saturday, either in person here at the Art Gallery at St Nicholas in Early or on Zoom. Just let me know. I just want to give a huge thanks to everyone who's encouraged me in my painting, who's affirmed my creativity, and that digital painting is a real medium, especially when, like me, you're blind and can't paint physically anymore. Come and see it. It's here till the 11th of March and the book launch on Saturday. Bye.
Welcome to the St Nicholas Art Gallery in Early. I'm Emma and this is my exhibition, Seeing the World Differently. I'm a blind wheelchair user, and so all the art I'm going to show is created digitally and then printed. So these 6 pieces are views of Reading, and hopefully you can recognise where they're from. Here we have a painting I've done of St Nicholas Church itself, just as the sun is going down and the lights of the church are switching on. I only started painting digitally just over a year ago when I was recovering from COVID, and I've tried all sorts of techniques and learnt all sorts of skills. So here we have 2 sets of 4 paintings, thinking about water and pebbles, connecting to streams and rivers, which I find really relaxing and very, very much a place that I meet God. These are more landscape paintings. I don't know how well these are going to come out with me moving, but I can't hold the camera steady and move my wheelchair. So here we have some landscape paintings from beach scenes, from holidays, some sunset and sunrise paintings rather, and then some imagined scenes from forest churches to, well, places of my imagination. These final two sets of landscape paintings are truly of my imagination. So I've been painting a lot of these. So these are just 8 of now 50, 60, and actually the line images are becoming a colouring book. So these are houses of hope. They're retreat places, places in woods, by streams, by rivers, by the sea, places to escape, places to rest and recuperate. This Saturday on the 26th, we're having a book launch, an open exhibition at 6 o'clock, and everyone is welcome. These 12, I was trying to count how many paintings there are, 12 paintings are from my book Dormiveglia. And this book of poetry and art all about living with long COVID. And because one book isn't enough, there are 2 books of poetry and paintings being launched on Saturday. These, can you see them? 9 and 9, 18 paintings are from the book Light Stuck on Red. This is a journey from pre-pandemic all the way through the various lockdowns that we've lived through in the UK, through red, amber, green for some, red for others, and as we know it, living through to where we are now. So if you would like to see these paintings, please come along, or if you'd like to hear me speaking about the book and reading some of my poetry, then again, you'd be very welcome, both in person on Saturday at 6 or on Zoom. I hope you've enjoyed this visit to my book launch and tour around my art exhibition, Seeing the World Differently. My books are available from all good bookshops, or get in touch with me for a signed copy. You can find me online at emmuk74 or visit my website llmcalling.com. And of course, if you'd like to buy one of my paintings, then please get